you're trying to make up something.
Here with us on set to discuss, the Heritage Foundation Chief Economist and Unleash Prosperity Senior Fellow, E.J. Antoni. E.J., good to see you. Now, you get to talk. We're not going to shut you up. You get to say what you want.
And we won't call you a flunky.
That's
either,
right. That's right. Now,
I won't be offended if you do. It's okay.
I know that, like, the drama of D.C. is not your thing. You're an economist, right? You evaluate what's going on in markets. So the secretary was there to talk, presumably, about the economy, right? What was he actually trying to convey to these people in Congress that they didn't obviously want to hear?
Well, Brian, I think you both said it earlier. Econ 101, right? I mean, this is very simple here. We're not doing rocket science. Of course, some of the congressmen and women tried to get into the minutia with him, and he, of course, smacked them down because they have no idea what they're talking about. He does. But look, at the end of the day, the government needs to spend less money. We're bringing in plenty of revenue, right? We don't have, when we look at the deficit, it's not a revenue problem. It is strictly a spending problem. Revenues are doing just fine. They're actually up. The problem is the people in Congress who are actually lecturing the Treasury Secretary. They're the ones not doing their jobs. They're the ones who need to be cutting spending more.
We know that we're going to see a battle over affordability heading into the midterm elections. We saw the Democrats' line of attack, Representative Maxine Waters, President Trump's waging a war on the American consumers, harming affordable housing, putting the economy at risk. How did Secretary Bessent do in combating that narrative from the left?
I thought it was brilliant. It was an intellectual tour de force, and it was simply him holding up a mirror to all of those on the left and the big spender Republicans to say all of the issues that you're raising are all problems created on the president's predecessor's watch, in other words, Biden. And that was made possible because of all the spending and excess regulation that came out of Congress, not just the White House, over those 4 years.
You know, aren't hearings, I know how they go these days, right? Somebody asks you a question, but they only want to hear yes or no. They don't want to give you any time to answer. But I mean, honestly, shouldn't it be about learning something? You bring an expert in his craft. Scott Bessent is clear, whether you like his politics or not, he knows his portfolio. You bring him in to get real answers to questions that affect the country. These guys never want to know the answers. All they want to do is try to create traps. It seems to me that's probably at the root of why, from a fiscal standpoint, this country is so screwed up right now, EJ.
Brian, it's a great point. This is a hearing, right? Scott Bessent is there to be heard.
Like, hearing implies your ears, right? Like, you listen a little bit, don't you?
I thought that was the whole mechanics of this, but no, for a lot of these people in Congress, it's not about actually serving the public, so it's not about letting the witness be heard. It's about them grandstanding, right? This is all them trying to get clips for a donor email. It's not them actually trying to get to the truth, which is why you're calling in an expert. You are calling in somebody with 4 decades of market experience who made an excellent living because he was so good at his job and because no one knows sovereign debt markets the way he does. So this is a man you do want to listen to. If you're actually trying to get to the truth, that's not why those Democrats are there.
Look, we've seen, positive third quarter growth. We've seen inflation cooling. But perception has lagged reality when it comes to polling. Why aren't Americans there yet and viewing President Trump as an economic success?
Lisa, I think it's because we have not yet regained all the lost ground from Biden. So we've course corrected, we're heading in the right direction now, but we're not there yet, if you will. A couple of stats I think really illustrate that. If you look at what the average American's weekly paycheck could actually buy, so not just how big the paycheck is, but again, what it can buy, that fell on average about 4% from when Biden took office to when he left office. Under Trump, it's up roughly 1.5%. So it, again, tells you 2 things. One, we've course corrected. We were heading in the wrong direction, now we're heading in the right direction, but we haven't regained all that lost ground. Same thing when we look at home ownership affordability. The monthly mortgage payment on a median price home doubled under Biden. Now, it's come down under Trump, but it hasn't come down by half.
Real quick, I want to get you on this Fed stuff. Okay, Senate Democrats now plotting to delay Kevin Warsh's confirmation hearing, which is sure to catch the ire of President Trump, who's clearly ready for rate cuts. Listen to this.
Does your new Fed pick understand that you want him to lower interest rates?
Oh, I think he does, but I think he wants to anyway. I mean, if he came in and said, I want to raise them,
if he said that, he wouldn't have gotten the job.
He would not have gotten the job, no.
EJ, real quick on what's going to happen with Warsh here.
I think he's ultimately going to get confirmed. Sure, the Democrats are going to do everything they can do to slow it down. The rhinos, like Tom Tillis, that clown, he's going to do the same thing. But at the end of the day, I'm pretty confident Warsh is going to get across the finish line, and the nation will be better off for it. The disastrous monetary we have had under Powell has to come to an end, and Warsh is the right guy to fix the Fed.
E.J. Antoni, always great analysis and all things economic, even a little bit of drama in.
Great to see you